Hey, everybody. Welcome to Broadway.com's Live at 5. It is Wednesday, June 5th. I'm Beth Stevens.
I'm Paul Wontorek.
And we are joined by Eric King.
Hello, everyone.
And we have quite a guest.
We do. A Tony nominee.
Tony nominee for the 9th time.
Wow.
Scott Ellis is here, the director of Tootsie and Kiss Me Kate. And
he started in the chorus, and now he's like running things.
That's
we
right.
love him.
It's
He's
a Broadway
fantastic.
success story, and we will get to that very soon. But first, our top 5.
They say casts are like families. This one is going to be very modern.
Wow,
okay.
Eric.
Eric's
vibe.
here.
He's
so
bringing
the
his
headlines
vibe.
are
It's
right.
here.
Okay. Take
thought
Me
about
Out. Take Me Out. We
Take
love
Me
that
Out.
play.
We do.
Richard Greenberg play. We were working
Children.
here
We were
the first
children.
time it happened.
We were underage.
There is, and we already know Jesse Williams will be in the show playing Darren Lemming, who's the baseball player, sort of kicks things off. But there's a great juicy role in it, and we were wondering who would play Mason. Dennis O'Hare won a Tony Award for the original production, and we just found out. By the way, it's directed by Scott Ellis,
Who
was
happens
here
to be in the room.
Jesse Tyler Ferguson, great casting.
Wonderful.
Good job, Mr. Ellis. Good casting. He is, of course, he finished up Modern Family. Modern Family is finishing up, and now
hit.
he's coming back. He's balanced theater with his TV
He
success.
started in the theater.
Yes,
I
and
like
of
to say it
course
like
he
that.
was last in Fully Committed, which was a one-man phenomenon. And this is all happening when? So this is next year. Okay, we have to wait. April 2nd, it starts previews. April 2nd, 2020, at the
Next
Helen
Tony
Hayes
season.
Theater. It's going to be good. It's a really good play.
It's a great play.
I'm excited about it. He has a great monologue in Act 2, didn't he? Is that my memory?
Yeah,
I
about
don't know.
why
Ask Scott.
you run around the after you hit a home run, it's just joy, right, Scott? It's joy. Listen, it's a great monologue. You'll love it. You'll love it.
And we know what stars are going to be handing out trophies in a few days.
Oh
I
my
don't
God, is
know
it a
if you
few
guys
days?
know this, but
Oh,
the
it's a few
Tony
days.
Awards are on Sunday. So we're counting down, and some more presenters have been announced. This is a big list of A-listers.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear about it?
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
You have to go quick, though.
All
There's
right.
a lot of them.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
We don't have
Kelly
all day.
O'Hara, Sarah Bareilles, Laura
Ellis has a
Benanti,
lot more baseball players to
Abigail
cast.
Breslin, Kristen Chenoweth.
Oh.
Scott Ellis happened to put
He
her in
knows
the
all
first.
these people.
Yeah, we'll get there.
He's one of those like 6 degrees of, it's like Scott
6
Ellis
degrees
is
of
in
Kristen
the middle of it
Chenoweth.
all.
That's Scott Ellis. Jesse Tyler Ferguson, who we're going to try and get into every news story today. Josh Groban, Denai Guerrera, Christopher Jackson, Shirley Jones. Put a little
only
asterisk
halfway
there.
through the list.
Jane Krakowski, Lucy Liu, Asif Manvi. Look, there are a lot of people that are going to present at the
But
Tonys.
you have to mention Catherine O'Hara. That's exciting.
Catherine O'Hara. There's a lot.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
just
a lot.
saying, there's
But
a lot.
also, what about who's hosting the Creative Arts Emmy?
I don't know who's hosting the
The
Creative Arts
stars of
Emmy.
Moulin Rouge, Aaron Tveit, Karen Olivo, and Danny Burstein.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I love it. Check all of the whole list out on Broadway.com.
Who's
so I
hosting
don't
the
waste
Tonys?
time. I have no idea.
Mr. James Cole.
Oh, yeah.
Beth knows.
I do.
And this buzzy off-Broadway musical has been postponed.
Sorry, Lizzie Borden. Your story will not be sung this summer. The rock tuner called Lizzie
Yep.
has been postponed. It was supposed to play the Signature Center starting July 19th. Of course, based on that, crazy story. And, I'm
a little
bummed
poem
because
that we
Edna
all know.
Spinoza, Ciara Renee were both supposed to be in it. I was excited to see them. It's delayed. Hopefully it's coming at some point, but not this summer.
And we're celebrating 9,000 circles of life.
You guys, The Lion King, it's like I can't even count this high. The Lion King is celebrating
can count this
9,000. It would take me longer than saying all the Tony presenters. 9,000 performances.
Yeah.
That's insane. I was about to swear, but I'm not going to. A 6-time Tony-winning Broadway hit, as if you didn't know, on June 5th. That's today.
Yep.
At 7 o'clock.
That's like in 2 hours.
In 2 hours. Historic milestone. Only 2 other shows have reached this milestone.
Do you know what shows they were?
I do. But I don't know who's hosting the Tonys. No.
The Phantom of the Opera. Probably.
And the
Still
revival of Chicago, the musical.
Right, because they're still running.
It premiered on November 13th, 1997, and still going strong.
And a new inclusive staging of this beloved musical is heading off Broadway.
You know what I wanted to add? You know what didn't run 9,000 performances? The
Lots
Rink.
of things.
The Rink.
Oh, okay. We'll get to that.
The Rink
we'll get
did
to
not
that.
run 9,000
That's true, but maybe it
performances.
should have. I don't know.
So Little Shop of Horrors, that's a musical we love.
Yes?
Yeah, we do.
Are you looking at me for confirmation?
I just wanted you to confirm that you love it too,
I
because
love
I know
it.
I do.
Well, yes.
Good show.
Because, yeah.
So they're doing it off Broadway. This is really interesting. Epic Players will do a neuro-inclusive performance performed by a I can't say I know much about this, but
tell me about it.
diverse cast featuring performers from across the autism spectrum.
Huh.
So this is happening at the Sheen Center for Thought and Culture from June 5th. Is that today?
Yes, from today.
Through the 16th. That's interesting.
That is interesting, and what a great show that everybody loves.
Yeah.
And once
So
I
what
get
else
that,
is on? I have to brag. I
Okay.
got to sit with Judith Light,
Broadway's fairy
who
godmother.
is a light, and I did a beautiful. I was just gonna say I did a beautiful interview, but I did an interview with that beautiful woman.
Was beautiful.
She is, of course,
Two-time Tony winner,
winning the
Isabel Stevenson
Award.
Yes.
For her work with the LGBTQ activism and the fight against AIDS. Had a really good time with her, and then you did the Secrets of the Tony nominees. Beth produces those videos.
Yep.
Which are a lot of fun.
Scott Ellis talked to us.
In this one, I think we find out which co-stars people wanted to hook up with.
That's correct. And also,
Did Scott mention anyone from the rink?
we'll get to that. You're really hung up on the rink. We'll get to the rink.
Also, we have gorgeous photos from the Tony Honors event the other night.
On a balcony, like with a city backdrop.
Yeah, it's
I'm doing
beautiful. We did them on a roof. Emilio Madrid-Cruiser took some gorgeous photos.
Good stuff,
So
good stuff.
I don't think Adam Driver has ever looked better, and he always looks good.
True. Anyway, Paul,
I'm out.
you want to go check out some... I can't even talk today.
I'm just
You want
gonna
to
go. I'm
go?
just
You want to
gonna
go? You got to
I'm
go
gonna-
think about the rink.
I'm going to bow out.
You do that. Thank you. Eric, will you tell us about our guest, please?
I would love to. Okay. Scott Ellis is the Tony-nominated director behind Tootsie, who also directed this year's Tony-nominated Kiss Me, Kate, as well as the seasons All My Sons, True West, and Bernhardt Hamlet. This marks Ellis's 9th Tony nomination, and he has over 30 Broadway credits to his name. Follow Tootsie Musical on social media to stay up to date on all things Tootsie. Leave behind all your questions in the comments below, and please welcome Scott and Beth.
Thank you, Eric. I have a little correction. So, Scott Ellis is the busiest man on Broadway, but he didn't direct all those plays. He just happens to be a roundabout
Associate Artistic Director, so my name
His
comes
name is
up.
there when you look him up. But he did direct Tootsie, which
Did I?
has 11 nominations.
Did I?
I know it's all a blur.
Okay.
And he directed Kiss Me Kate, which has 4 nominations. So
You sure I didn't direct True West?
I think that you
Check
could,
it. By the way,
if you wanted to.
here's what I'd like to know. Did I direct Hamilton? I could have.
You
I
could have.
So
Exactly.
we'll check it. We'll
You're
check
a
it
very
and get back to
talented
you.
individual.
Let's check.
And you're the busiest man on Broadway. Because,
busy.
as we heard today, you're prepping Take Me Out
Yeah.
for next season.
Yeah.
How do you do all
Yeah.
of this? Tell me. First of all, Kiss Me Kate and Tootsie opened a month apart.
Yeah. So
Walk me
yeah.
through that month for you.
Well, the month was crazy because we went out to Chicago. The
Right.
year's been crazy because
Right,
we
'cause
went out to
Tootsie-
Chicago for Tootsie, which was great. Then we came back. I had committed to Kiss Me Kate a long time ago with Kelly. So when Tootsie happened, I said, okay, but I've got to do Kiss Me Kate. Not got to. I want to do Kiss Me Kate. So we went out in Chicago. We came back. I started rehearsals for Kiss Me Kate. We knew that Tootsie would start later in the spring. I started on the first preview. I had 1 week, just Kiss Me Kate. After that first preview, then I would go in the morning for Tootsie, work through lunch, come back for Kiss Me Kate, see Kiss Me Kate, go back to Tootsie the next day.
I'm having a
and come
headache just
back,
thinking about this.
do rehearsal with Kiss Me Kate. That was for 3 weeks. And plus I have 2 kids, twins.
Right.
So I
and
would
talk
run
to you
home.
about your
every-
kids too.
Yeah.
But first, let's talk about these 2 shows. There's some similarities.
Yeah.
Not only do they both have Shakespearean musicals, who knew?
Yeah.
But there was also some tinkering that went
Yeah.
on to update and
Well, major updates.
Well, Tootsie was a totally
Yeah,
new
major
script.
with Tootsie. Kiss Me Kate was just when we did a reading of it with Kelly and Will, and I just thought, I love this, and the score is incredible.
Sure, of course,
but
classic.
we have to look at this.
Taming a Woman in
Taming a Woman,
2019.
Little trouble. So I had 4 things that I said when I went to the estate. Oh, then I asked Amanda Green to come in, we worked together on 20th Century, and she's incredible. So it was just like 4 things that I said, oh, we gotta look at this. You know, the whipping, the spanking,
You're making it sound
list.
so interesting. Go on.
You know, that could be and Take Me Out. I don't know. Maybe we'll end up.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
So that was it. And it's funny, when Kiss Me Kate, the only thing I knew was the bookend. I knew how I was going to start it, and I knew I wanted to go back and see, not end in Kiss Me Kate, but end with the two of them, the actors. And then everything in between, I just said, we got to look at everything. So with Amanda's help, rewriting some lyrics and stuff, it was pretty cool. And Kelly O'Hara, who was just...
Genius.
But yeah, she's a genius, and then plus she was such an incredible collaborator, and she sort of demanded we look. I mean, we wanted to, but we really approached that role differently. So
Right. It's not your mother's Kiss Me Kate.
no, it's not.
And it's not your mother's Tootsie.
No, it's not.
I have to talk about what Paul and Torque was just talking about, which was he kept on making allusions, so we're going to acknowledge them. Chorus Boy,
Oh God.
the rink. He said it multiple times.
He did.
Take me back.
What's that about?
Take me back. We
What
love
is
you.
that?
We want to hear everything about you.
Okay.
Take me back to your Broadway beginnings.
My Broadway beginning.
Let's go there.
Let's go there. Honestly, my first show, The Rink, started my career as a director. If I had not done The Rink, I'm really not sure if I would have had a career. Because during The Rink, I auditioned. I knew I could roller skate, so by the end of the final audition, we were all at the Roxy, just the four guys, and I said to the stage manager, where is everybody else? And they said, no, if you can skate, you're it. I went, I
well,
just
there
got
you go.
myself a Broadway show, because I was a hot dog roller skater. So anyway, that's how it started, and then I approached them during that about directing Flora the Red Menace.
You approached Candor
Neb,
Yeah.
and they said, well, who would direct it? And I said, I would. Have you ever directed something? I said, no.
Where did you get that
I have
chutzpah?
I have no clue. Seriously, I was just
really
like,
takes
it's
guts.
Candor Neb, for crying out loud. And so for the next 3 years, we literally sat around Candor's, Fred Epps' kitchen table with Susan Stroman and David Thompson, and we created that, and that's everything.
That
So I owe
launched you.
everything to that first Broadway show.
So basically, you're saying 9 Tony nominations later
Yeah.
that your Broadway career is because you could roller skate.
That is absolutely correct. And by the way, never thought of it that way. Perhaps I should get back on the skates. Perhaps.
I mean, you could do
never
a
know.
revival of Starlight Express.
I could do. By the way, I was cast. I was brought back in the Broadway. In that, I broke my wrist while I was auditioning, and yeah, because I wouldn't come back. I kept saying, "You can call me back," and call back because I can skate. I broke my wrist, and then I had to sue all of them, including Andrew Lloyd Webber. Yeah, sued them all.
And yet you have a Broadway
And
career.
yet I still am working. What
yeah,
is that about?
You're working. You're really working.
That's it.
Okay. You brought up your children.
Yeah.
Are you okay talking about your kids?
Oh my God, yes.
You have twins.
Yeah.
Boy and a girl.
Parker and
How
Charlotte.
old are they?
9.
I have a 9-year-old too.
You do?
Yeah.
Boy, or girl.
A girl. She just loves Broadway.
Oh, okay.
Your kids don't love
So my husband is an actor, Scott Drummond, and we've sort of introduced them a little bit. Kelly had said on the opening of Kiss Me Kate, she brings the kids to the opening. I'd never brought my kids to the opening. So on Tootsie, I brought them to the opening. Okay, but here's the thing.
Uh-oh.
I don't particularly want them in the biz, and I love the business, but you don't
No,
want your
go-
kids to go
be a
into it, do
lawyer.
you? Yeah,
Go ahead, be a doctor.
lawyer, anything. I mean,
Anything.
teacher, I'll give
Mayor,
you a list.
President of the United States,
All
whatever
of
you
it.
want.
But they do like it. And my son got into the American School of Ballet
Oh,
only
wow.
because he's a big guy with baseball and stuff. We just thought, he's probably he could do that. So we bribed him to audition for it. Charlotte and Boris had sent him there. He did. He got in. So I'm a little nervous that they're getting.
They're getting the bug.
I'm a little nervous about it, but
Oh, they'll be all
but
right.
they'll be okay.
Can we
But
talk
yeah,
about that as well? Because you have twins.
Yes.
You're a twin.
I am.
And you were a single dad with twins until
That's
you
right.
until you got married. Can you
You
tell me a
know
little?
everything. I love
I
that.
don't. I want to hear the story.
But you do. I am a twin. I have an identical twin, Mark Ellis, who's runs the International Bar Association. He lives in London. I always said when the eggs split, the brains
Split across the pond.
just went over there. So and then I wanted kids. I just always wanted kids, and I had them by myself. And all I said to the doctor was no twins. And
Well, there are no
and there it
guarantees.
is. Well, I was trying to direct my life, and that was never going to happen again. So I got twins, and then I met Scott 8 months later, and he came into our lives and adopted, and we got married. But I just said I was going to have kids no matter what. I was ready to have them. And
So what was that moment like when you found out that
It was not
as
good.
a single dad?
It was not good.
It was not good.
No, it wasn't good. I was associate producer on Weeds, and luckily I wasn't shooting that day. And they called, and she was crying. She was so happy that they saw her again. I was crying for a totally different reason. And I went into my car because I told the other producers I have to get out for a moment. And I had cleaning in my car I was going to drop it off, and I pulled up to the cleaners, and I just burst down and cried.
We always know where we are at these big moments.
In
the parking lot somewhere.
Yeah, in the parking lot. But that's what it was, and that was real for me. And I thought, as a single dad, I'm not going to be able to do it. Plus, I knew how to work, So, but as it always is, it works out the way it's supposed to work out. And actually, because I was single for a year, I forgot my guilt of being away and working, because they had each other was not quite as rough. And everything that I love about being a twin, I thought, oh yeah, you two have this special bond now. So it's worked out well.
That's such a great story. I love that.
It's pretty great.
And now they're cheering you on with your 9th nomination.
My 9th nomination.
Amazing. What was your first nomination like?
She Loves Me, first time.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was like.
Like you went to the Tonys. You went to.
Where
I
brought
was
my
it?
sister. It was at what's that theater? You'd think I'd remember it completely. Where Wicked is.
The Gershwin.
Yeah, the Gershwin. And we walked in, and I always tell Nick Scandales, who's a very, very dear friend of mine, as we're walking in, he said, hey, listen, I just want to tell you, if She Loves Me doesn't win Best Revival, we've got to put up the notice and close next week.
Oh, wow. That's how you started your night?
That's how I started my night. And by the way, that was way up in the program, the Best Revival, and Carousel won. And I just thought, well, this is really going to be a depressing night. So that's sort of what I remember. And yet I remember the joy and the excitement of just being there, and you sort of feel like, oh, this is, people talk about it all the time, but it's like, as a kid, you watch it and you think, would I, could I, is that? And so you sort of go, oh my gosh, I'm here and I've had this. So that was pretty great.
I love that. I know you all have questions because Scott Ellis is here, and I'm going to take your questions. But first, we got to talk about Take Me Out.
Okay.
Because you are a genius at casting. You're a genius at casting.
Look at me shaking
This is
my
the
hand.
first person.
No,
He's like,
I'm not. I don't
this
say
is the
that.
first
But
person to put Kristen Chenoweth in a musical.
Yeah.
On Broadway.
Yeah.
I mean, she was in Oklahoma and stuff.
Yeah.
The state.
Steel Pier.
Not the Steel Pier.
Here's the thing with casting. I think
this is a real collection of guys. They all have to look like athletes.
Yeah. You have to balance everything.
Except for Jesse Tyler Ferguson, who not that part.
Doesn't have to be.
He doesn't have to be.
Maybe he will be. I don't know.
You never know.
But no, casting to me is, from a director's point of view, it's just such a major, important part of what a director does. And so I do pride myself. I love actors. I truly do. And part of it is just not only casting the right actor for the right role, but also going, well, do I want to be in a room with them for this whole journey? Because that's really part of it too. And that has to be a part of your decision. So I tend to cast people, obviously they're talented, who I feel are right for this, but I also instinctively think I want to be in a room with them for a while. And that's where the joy is. I have no control over what's going to happen at the end, what the critics are going to say, nothing. Only control I have is what happens in the room. And that's pretty cool.
And it was a stroke of genius. Santino Fontana is so well cast in Tootsie, but Lily Cooper is very different from what we think of that part if you just know the film, which is the Jessica Lange part.
Santino, I'd gone up to New York Stage and Film, and he was doing a rewrite on Roar the Grease Paint, and he asked, and I hadn't worked with him. So I went up and spent 2 weeks with him, and I think I just fell in love with him. I just thought he's so smart and collaborative and just really challenging in all the best ways. I think actors should be challenged. It's not a challenge in a bad way, but there should be a give and take and coming together. And I had that with Kelly also. But I said to the producers, this is the only person I want to do it with. I said, if you're looking for a big star or something, I have no interest. I said, I will only do it with this guy. Only. That was it. And I said yes.
Are there directors you look up to?
Yes. Oh my gosh, of course.
Hear about it.
Jack OBrien. I love Jack OBrien. I think he's. I mean, look at what he's done. You know, and they're newer, just newer directors that are coming up that I think, oh my God, that's so cool. You know, you look at people's work and you look and you go, oh man, I can so appreciate it. I can't do that. That's not me. I do my thing, and my stuff is a little bit more silent in a sense. It's not quite as flashy, and I wish I could do more flash sometimes, but I don't, and I do it my way. But I really respect and appreciate when I see that. But I think Jack is someone that I really like. And I have to say, you know, none of the directors, it's a tricky group because we don't really spend time together.
Right.
You know, I love Alex's work, Michael Mayer, I love his work. But it's tricky. We don't hang, so you don't really get to be around them. But
then award season, you sort of
you sort of see them, but then it's a competitive thing and stuff. But the one person which we will none of us will ever be able to have that experience because the business has changed is Hal Prince. When you look back on what that man accomplished and what he did and throughout the year, that's pretty remarkable. In that he was able to keep going after failure and then have major successes and stuff. We all have failure, we all have success, and you just want to keep in the game. And so I find that's a really cool thing to have seen someone experience that. But yeah.
I love it. All right, we're going to take your questions because I know you have them.
Yes. Okay. So Elise would like to know, if you could time travel to attend the opening night of any show that you haven't been a part of, which one would you choose?
Oh, great question.
Yeah.
The original Oklahoma.
We're going way back.
We're going way back. But that's okay, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's time
traveling.
Time travel.
We're
Let's
gonna
go.
last year.
1939?
Let's go. No, I just think that idea of how a beginning of telling a story in a totally different way. What was that? What was that audience sitting there going? What? Oh my God! Well, look at this. I think that must have been an incredible thrill. That would have been. Yeah, I would have liked that.
That would have been a fun party.
Yeah.
All right. Alexandra would like to know, favorite moment working with the wonderfully talented cast of She Loves Me?
Which
First
one?
time or
Yeah,
second
I knew you were
time?
gonna say that.
Ooh,
I'm assuming they mean the revival because
the
these are young people on the
revival.
internet. That's my guess.
That's the thing. God, these are good questions. I think it was the best. I'm sorry. What
Your favorite moment working with them?
The favorite moment working with them. I know. The favorite moment working with them is when we, in the rehearsal room, we decided to, with Warren, Carlisle, and myself, we decided in the crazy thing of the shopping and stuff, we wanted to know exactly what each one of those characters were thinking on the 12 days as the 12 days to Christmas happened. So we took a whole afternoon and we went through each one, and each one did their subtext as they were going. It was so brilliant, and it was so great as just the calm, each one of them, and then that was a favorite moment.
What was it like for you to revisit She Loves Me? Because some people say, some directors I've talked to have said, when you do a revival, when you do an original show, you're trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Well,
and then when you're doing a
do.
revival, sometimes those questions have been answered.
Yeah.
So you have to look at it in a different way.
I think if you're doing a revival, there has to be a total understanding and respect for the original director and the original team. There just has to. But a couple of shows I've done, actually, because I mentioned Hal, 20th Century, She Loves Me, Company, and I went back and basically said, A, thanks, because you figured some stuff out that I don't have to figure out. And then it gives directors a freedom to be able to just blow it up because the bones work. Where in a new musical you don't. You're just trying to figure that out. So with She Loves Me, which I didn't want to revisit, Todd Hames from Roundabout sort of didn't push me but kept encouraging me to do it. So I did make a deal with myself, which was I would not do one thing that I did in the original.
Wow.
I even changed the doors. I would not change one, no set, no lighting, no choreography. Everything would have to be completely different, which allowed me to look at it differently. Plus, I know it's hard to imagine, but I'm older now, 20 years later, and so my experience and my understanding of love and what it's like to fall in love later in life, which I did, was a very different experience this time around, where when I was doing it before, I hadn't really been in love yet. It was in my imagination. But this time I really understood that.
I love that.
Okay, and we can do one more.
Okay.
What, Nicolette would like to know, what are some of your top tips for directing a musical?
Top tip on directing a musical.
Yes.
You have to, for every musical, you have to really, whether it's a play or, actually I will say this, I think it's always the same. It's always, whether it's a play, a musical, Shakespeare, whatever it is, you're still going to ask the same questions. You still have to focus on the characters. What do the characters want? What are the stakes? The basic questions that you have to have. And musicals sometimes can get a bad rap. Sometimes, as far as they're sort of fluffy and that, but they're exactly the same. They're exactly the same way of working and focusing, and in some ways even more, because you've really got to be cemented and grounded and understand what these characters want through song, through scenes, and you don't have sometimes as much time to get to that point where in a play you do. So you have to really delve in and ask those questions and keep focused on that.
Now, we mentioned now, I don't know, 6 or 7 times how busy you are. What else do you have coming up? Because I know that you never rest.
I don't.
Never.
No.
I don't know if you've ever taken a vacation, if you know what one is. But you've
I
got Take Me
yes, I
Out
do.
coming up. Is there
Yes.
anything else you have working?
I'm working on a new project, new musical for Lincoln Center with Peter Parnell, and another new musical for Second Stage. So those are in the workshop process, and then a piece that I'll go to London to do. So there's that, and then I
Plus, there are
shoot
tours of
television
these
too.
shows,
So
and TV, of
I'm
course.
doing 3 television shows right back to back. So I fill that in too. So
Your calendar must be a mess.
it's pretty crazy, pretty crazy.
Scott Ellis, you're a joy.
Totally
Thank you
great to be here,
so much
seriously.
for coming. Eric, will you take us out?
I would love to. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We are live at 5 every single day on Facebook, except during the summers when we're not here on Friday. If you like a podcast, we've got a podcast. So go to wherever you get those and type in #live at 5 and slam that subscribe button. Tune in tomorrow when we do our Tony winner predictions.